Hello and welcome to another week of Sambo iRacing. It's week 9, season 3, 2024. We are in the Formula Vee at Motorsport Areana Oschersleben, and it's going to be hopefully another good week of racing with most of the passing opportunities coming into turn 1 or the final corner if you're willing to dive in there. What we do, if you're new to the channel, is we do one hot lap where I don't say a lot and it just goes on, and then we do a breakdown lap where I show you all my braking markers, stuff like that. Then we do chase cam at full speed, and then finally back in the cockpit for those diehards that like the driving line with the driving line on. Anyway, enough of that. Let's start the lap. Rightio, as always in the Formula Vee, I started this test session from the Vee schedule, so it should be the same conditions that we are facing this week. Nice and straightforward. Next up, we will do the breakdown lap, and I'll show you how to go about getting this time. And if you beat it, stop watching my guides. You don't need any help. Right, let's start this breakdown lap. So we're over on the right-hand side, in 4th gear. I've actually got the wind in my face on this lap. Ignore what it says on the left there. The wind doesn't pull through, unfortunately, from the replays to the overlays. So we're taking turn 1, this turn here, absolutely flat out. But just as we come off the apex, we're going to straighten up so that we can point at the corner. And as soon as the car is straight, so as you see now, I've straightened up my wheel. I'm going to brake quite hard, up to about 80%. And then I'm going to clip this first apex as I'm trailing it off. And then I'm going to allow my car to move out wide. As you can see, I'm having to do a little bit of work on the steering wheel just to straighten it up. And that's because I want a nice wide entry here into the second apex of turn 2, because I want to try and get on the gas as soon as possible. So as you can see here, I'm halfway between the first and second apexes of turn 2. I'm already up at 100% gas. I want to clip that corner without actually hitting the sausage curb. In 3rd gear, over to the right hand side. And then what we're looking for here is this marker that I'm just showing you. So it's the end of the rumble strip and the start of whatever that is. That's my next marker. So just before I get there, I'm going to start turning towards the apex. And then I'm going to come off the gas. I'm going to give it a quick blip up to about 50% on the brake. Slowly trail it off down towards the apex, leaving it in 3rd gear. Just waiting to try and get back on the gas. I actually come back off a little bit there because I went a touch early, but then I'm able to get back on nice and early because we're going to be back on throttle for quite a long time here. Use all the track, maintain the speed. It is a momentum car. Up to 4th gear. We take turn 4 completely flat. We try and get out to the right-hand side so that we can come back in as easy as possible to turn 5. And then just before we get to turn 5 here, I'm doing a little lift, still in 4th gear, clipping the curbing without hitting the sausage curb, down to about 20%, and then back on the gas as we approach turn 7. So a bit of a tricky corner here. It's very easy to overbrake and lock up. But what we're wanting to do is get the car as straight as possible. So we're clipping this inside curb on the left-hand side. We're straightening the car up. And as soon as we come off the apex there, we're going to get on the gas up to about 75%. And then immediately we're going to start trailing it off. And then once we get off the brake, we're going to jump down into 3rd gear. And we're just waiting and waiting and waiting. It seems to go on forever until we know that we're going to get round the corner, and now we're back on 100% throttle nice and early. Car will drift out, that's fine. We're now doing turns 8 and 9 completely flat, so we're wanting to go as straight as possible. To line up turn 10, we're going to leave it in 3rd gear, and as we get to turn 10, we're going to do a quick lift down to about 15%, and then getting back on in a smooth motion so that we're back on 100% throttle nice and early without hitting the sausage curb on the right. Don't exit any wider than I am, otherwise we get an off track. Up to 4th gear. Now we come into the tricky little final section. We're in 4th gear, so turn 11. It's not a brake. Don't brake. You don't need to brake. All we're going to do is a lift. Almost down to nothing. Going to make sure that we're clipping the inside, getting right up against the apex without hitting the sausage curb. I'm starting to build back up on the throttle here because I'm about to drop it down, kick it down into 3rd gear. That just gives me that extra boost. And now I can go through turn 12, just doing a little lift. So I just did that little lift here and then back on 100% throttle at the apex. Exit wide, but don't. So that's people messaging me. Do apologise. Exit wide, but don't get your left tyre off this rumble strip, otherwise it's an off track. Up to 4th gear. Now turn 13. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little lift up to about down to about 20%, and then straight back on the throttle so that you can carry as much speed as possible. As we come up to the final turn, and our braking marker is going to be this white line. So just after we cross the white line, what we're going to do is do a bit of braking. By the way, you don't want to be any further left. So if your right-hand tyres go over this white line, you will get an off track. So we're braking up to about 70% and immediately trailing it off down to the apex. As we get to the apex, as always, we're going to drop it down into 3rd gear, get back on the gas nice and early, wanting to clip the sausage curb but without actually running over it. Exit nice and wide, and assuming this is your qualifying lap, just hang down the left-hand side, keep it as short as possible, and over the line in a 1:43.489. Right, now back to full speed from the chase cam. Right, let's go for the chase cam. Okay, one final time from the cockpit with the driving line on. Thanks for watching. I've been Sambo iRacing, and I will see you guys in